Yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Arigato gozaimasu. Welcome, one and all. Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen. We are episode 97 of the Stadia Monday Night Chat, the #1 weekly deep dive into all things Stadia. Of course, if you're interested in really understanding Stadia beyond the headlines, beyond the tweets and the clickbait headlines and all of that nonsense, then welcome. Welcome to the Stadia Monday Night Chat with me, your host, of course, Clive Illenden. Grab some popcorn, pull up a chair, get ready as I touch down on all the Stadia news of the week, of course. But before all of that, let's get the formalities out of the way, as is our wont, as it is the way, for it is the way. Let's get them formalities out of the way. Remember to say hello in the chat. After all, it is the Stadia Monday Night Chat. Yeah? You know, so chat, you are the co-stars. You are the co-stars of this epic show. And hey, everybody, congratulate yourself, chat, on a fine performance last week. You did very, very well. Our little show hit 800 views. So well done. Well done. Round of applause. Back slaps all round, but hey, we can do better, people. We can do better. In fact, I demand it. I demand it. So give your best in chat today. Yeah. Of course, let me know what games you've been playing, what games you might be looking forward to. I'm running a little poll, as you can see in chat. So make sure you partake in the poll, of course. And remember to hit the likes, everybody, because I like it. YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you, yeah? People who've yet to discover the amazing Stadia Monday Night Chat, yeah? It helps people like them, and let them know that this awesome show is here. And of course, if you are new, then please, I would be most grateful if you could hit the subscribe button, toggle that notification bell, and then you'll know when I go live with Stadia content like this, ladies and gentlemen, like this. And just to say, on the subscribers front, if you are a recent subscriber, maybe one of the many that subscribed over the last 7 days or so, watching my Stadia content from last week, well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's really, really appreciated. And welcome. Welcome to the show. We have another packed show, of course, again this week, as we always do. As some wag on Reddit said, how can you find so much Stadia content for a show that long? Well, that's the thing. If you look, there's quite a lot of it. You know, a lot of Stadia news every single week, every episode. Hence, I always have a busy show. Man, signs of life when it comes to Stadia are everywhere. Believe me, you just need to look for it. And we'll even be touching down on some of that in the show tonight. Of course we will. Of course we will. We've got 2 new games landing tomorrow. Can you believe that? 2 games arriving tomorrow. But before all of that, of course, let us say hello, konbanwa, to the chat and all the folk who are rushing to the end zone before anyone else. Yes, the chat alphas, if you were. Let's see who is in the chat. And make sure you partake in the poll, of course. We got Dave at the top there. Dave, lovely to see you, Dave, as ever. I was looking at my memberships, Dave, and I forget how many months that little character is, but you're doing very well, sir. Very well. Inled, how are you? Bud? Purple Haze, lovely to see you. Hello there. Wonderful to see you in the chat. Jamie. Dragon Quest. He's gripped. It's gripped him. Been control. I keep meaning to start control, but I feel like it will involve an investment of my time. And it's a question of like, do I start it now? It's going to require that investment and all of that. Lovely to see you anyway, and everybody in the chat as ever. Always a pleasure. Of course, playing, oddly enough, I haven't been playing that much, but I'll tell you what I have been playing. Just Dance 2022. Yeah. My kids were playing it. And then my partner said, shall we play it? And we did. Whew. Whew. Got to build up the old aerobic there, the old cardio. Whew. But much fun, laughs, and guffaws were had playing Just Dance 2022. Always fun to whip out Just Dance 2022 when you're in a bit of a party mood, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby White. Hey, how you doing, sir? Mr. Bayron plays. Victor, still playing Destiny 2. What a game Destiny 2 is, like, sustainable. Probably the first game many of us who were Stadia founders or got Stadia on the first sort of day, as it were, played and still play it. It's a keeper. It's Destiny 2. Definitely a keeper, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Shall we go to the news? Why not? Well, of course, it was a This Week on Stadia news week last week. So we'll skim through that because you would have, you've read it. You're discerning people. I know that. You would have read it all and all of that. I don't doubt that. But anyway, so the big thing really tomorrow is that we've got 2 games arriving tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We've got My Hero 1's Justice 2. Let me just play a little video for you. Yeah, so we've got My Hero Hero 1's Justice 2 for all your My Hero Academia fans there. My daughter's a big fan of this show. I've watched quite a lot of it with her, actually. She knows all the characters. She'll inform me, tell me who's who and all of that. It's quite a good show, actually. I quite enjoy it. Anyway, let me know. As I say, I put a poll in on the old in the chat there. So let me know if My Hero is one of your games. The battle for justice continues, but this time the fight gets bigger, badder, and quirkier in My Hero 1's Justice 2. Play through the anime as you relive iconic scenes. Pick up after the finish of My Hero 1's Justice 1 and see what happens to Deku and the class of UA. So that's one of the games, of course, and is arriving tomorrow. So looking forward to that. I do like its style. Yeah, so looking forward to that. And of course, the other game arriving tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what time, probably 5 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. sort of Pacific time, I imagine. And of course, the other game arriving, ladies and gentlemen, is Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. Again, in this game, of course, as you know, test your might against insurmountable odds in a 1 versus 1,000 melee while conjuring up a battle plan in a country-conquering simulation, ladies and gentlemen. You'll have the chance to build alliances. There's a strategic system, navigate the nuances of backroom and backstabbing and politics to, of course, ensure your force fights as one, with options to play as rulers, officers, or freelancing mercenaries. Yeah, I mean, it does look quite a fun, impressive game, if albeit involving. You'll experience exciting battles where wisdom, courage intersect in castle sieges. As I say, vote for your favorite or which one you're most looking forward to in the chat. Nope, wrong button there. In the chat. Let's stop that. There we go. Right. The video is playing and not stopping. There we go. So that was, there we just go in there. So there we are. So those 2 games coming out tomorrow. Of course, a reminder that the Rainbow Six Extraction demo is still going on. Well worth, such a good game to try out Stadia if you've never tried out Stadia before. With nothing to lose during this try before you buy period. The only thing stopping you from giving this game a go is your own fear. Yeah. And then the other thing, of course, is this weekend, so this coming weekend, Jackbox Party Pack 7, ladies and gentlemen. Jackbox Party Pack 7 is having a free weekend. They say weekend. The weekend starts on a Thursday, apparently. So, advert there. We don't want the advert. Yeah, so Jackbox Party Pack 7, free weekend. I played Jackbox Party 6. Well, I've got a rubbish ad. I'm trying to get through the... Yeah, here we go. There we go. Yeah, so I played number 6, but I haven't played number 7. And of course, you can play with your mates and they don't need Stadia. That's the great thing. One of you has one instance of Stadia and then they all use their mobile phones and stuff. And they're a lot of fun. Hella fun, I think the word is in the street. Anyway, so if you've never tried a Jackbox Party Pack game, here you go. Yeah, so that is available from the 17th, so that's Thursday, all the way through to the Monday. Usually they go through to the Monday. So definitely worth a check out that. And on the subject of this game, I understand that the Jackbox Party Pack 9 is imminent, is about to be released. So given the track record of what we've got, number 6, 7, 8, haven't we? So good chance that number 9 will be coming. So that could be one of the games making up the 100+ games coming this year. Not confirmed yet that it's definitely coming to Stadia, but I do think it's been confirmed that they're releasing Jackbox Party Box Pack 9 soon. But anyway, if you want to get a taste, a flavor, a sense of what they're like, then definitely check out the free weekend, as it said in the old blog there. So the dates are Thursday, February the 7th to Sunday. Okay, Sunday, February the 20th. Play Jackbox Party Pack 7, no extra cost, as part of Stadia's free play day weekends. Plural, yeah. Going to get more of those. We've had quite a few. We're going to get some more free play day weekends. Good stuff. Always a good thing to sort of try games you've not tried before. Try Stadia if you've never tried Stadia before. Do something with your friends and mates. Introduce Stadia to them, using these free games. So, yeah, good to see. Apparently there was some little sporting event on over the weekend. I mean, yeah, last night, something like that, maybe. Some tigers and some rams, something like that. So an excuse, obviously, to talk about Madden, and Madden had a brief sale over the weekend. Come back to the sales in a minute. Then, of course, we've got the Elder Scrolls Online High Isle, Legacy of the Bretons, which doesn't come out for a while, but you can pre-order it now. So I think it comes out in April. And if you pre-order, then you get some extra little goodies. Immediate access to the Pale Frost Elk Mount and Pale Frost Elk Fawn Pet, in addition to a host of additional rewards at launch. If you pre-purchase the Elder Scrolls Online Collection High Isle, you'll get instant access to the ESO base game. So if you buy the High Isle collection, the Elders on-screen collection High Isle, you'll get the complete game as well as the High Isle sort of DLC new chapter element as well. So that was mentioned in the old blog. And in other news on the blog, oh my God, we got Mr. Creepy Guy. Bloke does my head in. More DLC coming to Far Cry 6. This time it's Joseph Seed. God, I hate Joseph Seed. It gave me the right collywobbles. So this is the third of the villain series from Far Cry, previous Far Cries. And he's the one that gives me the real collywobbles. if I'm honest, Joseph Seed. Really freaked me out when I played Far Cry 5. Anyway, you can play, as I say, part of these sort of inner mind, the workings of their inner mind games that they keep dropping this DLC content. He looked like Russell Brand then for a moment there. It was weird. In the Far Cry 6 as part of the Far Cry 6 stuff. So I've played a couple of the DLC. They're quite fun. And they're like, what's that word? Like Castlevania type thing, where you die and you kind of learn and you start again, and then you die and then you learn and start again. And every time you die, you start at the beginning again, but you've learned a little bit more. I'm not a big fan of those games, but they kind of work with those sort of DLC that they've been doing. And then some extra information about the Bungie developers discussing the Witch Queen, of course, one of the biggest updates to Destiny 2 in a long time, apparently. So yeah, and that was really your blog post. So fair to middling as a blog post. Games coming tomorrow. That's not too bad. Some DLC, some special offers, some free content over the weekends, free demo. And there's a big sale, actually. They didn't mention in here, but there's a big sale going on right now on Stadia with up to 80% off. I think games like FIFA, you can pick up FIFA about $20. £20, I think, even cheaper. So definitely check out the Stadia store. The problem is when I check out the Stadia store, it says already owned. So I can't see what the sale prices are. But anyway, let me what you think of the TWAS last week. As I say, for me, it was a fairly middling one, nothing to blow your mind away, but absolutely continuing to bring the games, the DLC, the free trials, the promotions, etc., etc., etc. But as ever, ladies and gentlemen, as ever, that was not it. That was definitely not it in terms of Stadia news. As I mentioned earlier, there is always Stadia news, with or without this week on Stadia, yeah, with or without a TWAS. And this week has been no exception. So let's get on with some of that stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So a brand new game, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new game. In fact, there's two brand new games, one I completely missed off here, which I will come to. How did I miss it off? Anyway, let's go with this one first. Zorro, the Chronicles, here is coming to Stadia. It's got a kind of a bit of a Outright Games feel, but it's not from Outright Games, actually. This is coming in summer 2022. It's the Zorro Chronicles, as it says. As I said, it has that kind of, published by Outright Games. It's not published by Outright Games, but a few people have mentioned it's got that kind of look to it. So sort of a family game, sort of kids sort of game, probably. It's actually published by Nacon, who make that really cool controller for mobiles that looks like an Xbox controller that's been chopped in half, and then you put your mobile phone in the middle and then connect it up. It's called the Nacon MGX controller. And they make controllers. Well, they're also publishing games, and they're publishing this one as well. No exact date for this, but it comes out on in summer 2022. That's what we know. Summer 2022. And if we kind of go to the end here, you will see. Here we go. Let me go big, and just so you can see, look right there. You see? Stadia. There we go. Coming to Stadia. Coming to every platform, to be honest, but coming to Stadia. The Chronicles, summer 2022. So we don't have an exact date. All we do know is it is coming. And then there was another game which I completely missed off my list. Bad me. Why is it not on my list? That was announced. I will find it. We don't need to see that. We don't see my notes, do we? But I'll carry on anyway. So the other thing is, let me just have a look at this other game. What was it called? Somebody in the chat remind me what the game. There's some sort of luminescent puzzling game. Oh. Why have I missed it off my list? Anybody let me know in the chat and I'll find it very quickly. But anyway, another game that was a surprise no one knew. I think it's from Ubisoft as well. Ubisoft Luminescent game. Not Child of Light, no. What's the name of the game? Oh my God. I'll do my head in. Anyway, in other news, what we think, Lumote, thank you. Thank you there. Oh my dear Lord. Oh my dear Lord. Thank you for that. My brain went dead. Yeah, so in other news here is the Lumote Master Mote Chronicles. Can we make this bigger? There we go. There we go. A luminescent puzzle platformer here, where you play this sort of luminescent sort of, well, the creature's not that luminescent, but the world in which the creature is hopping about and puzzling is sort of an aquamarine, an aqua-based luminescent setting. It looks really pretty and really nice, and the light effects and stuff like that. It looks really cool. And I do like a good puzzle game, though they can be a bit frustrating. But yeah, I didn't see this one coming. So this is coming to been announced, coming to Stadia. The developer has confirmed that it will be arriving on Stadia as well. I think in March, if I remember rightly. We'll just have a quickly find out. For some reason, I didn't make a note of it. It's in my. If you'd watched my Stadia news TLDR, I mentioned it in there anyway. March the 24th. Thank you. It's coming March the 24th. 3D platformer. Take control of the world's inhabitants on a quest into the great depths to seize control from the Master Mote. Yeah, launching March the 24th, 2022. There we go. So that's potentially two games in March, because we've got the that Keiju Monsters game coming in March as well. Let's go to Stadia Source. They'll always help. They're on the game. They're on the ball. They're not on the game. They're on the game. They're on the ball. Here we are. Yeah, there we go. Breaking news. Oh, some Wired Productions. That's it. Dive into Lumote, the Master Mote Chronicles, 24th of March, as I said, coming to Stadia. Surprise, surprise, coming to Google Stadia as well. Confirmed. Yeah, we have it confirmed. Thank you, I Can't See, for confirmation there. Yeah, and everybody else, Peda, all good. March the 24th. So anyway, so that's the two new games coming, which is all good stuff. And talking of games on a slightly larger scale, game-wise, bigger games. So Heartlands, which is a PvP spin-off of Division 2, it's sort of battle royale sort of type PvP type game. It's going to be free to play, and it's a spin-off of Division 2, Tom Clancy's Division 2. And just to sort of let you know, the Division Heartland, we know it's coming to Stadia because you can register already, and there's Stadia if you want to register for it. There's been some update on what the game might contain. So there was a leak. So take this, take take this bit of the news with a pinch of salt, as it were. As I say, we know this game is coming to Stadia. You can sign up for early play test on it. Not had any notification yet, but we do know it's coming. We know it's coming to Stadia. But there was a leak. Apparently, the game has had some information leaked. So as I say, it is a leak. So bear that in mind. On this site here, okay? Exclusive, The Division Heartland game modes revealed, map details, enemies, and more. And it says, we can exclusively reveal the game will feature 2 modes. Storm, which is a PvP versus E mode, and Excursion, previously named Expedition, which is a PvE mode aimed at preparing you for the storm. Okay. Several sources compared Excursion to the tutorial mode of Storm, where players can play with 2 other friends and learn the map by scavenging, looting, exploring, and fighting against enemy AI on the game's massive map named Silver Creek. However, Heartland's bread and butter is Storm, a P versus E versus P. So that's a bit like Escape from Tarkov, says here, with a similar formula to the likes of Escape from Tarkov. The aim of this mode is to survive, loot, and extract from Silver Creek to your base of operations. So very much like, as I say, as the guy mentions here, Escape from Tarkov. So, yeah, looking forward to this game. We don't know when it's arriving. We know it's on their roadmap here. Just seeing if they've got, there's loads of information here about characters and okay, so apparently there's a earnings call. Well, make a note in your diary. There's an earnings call on the 17th of February this week. So we might get some updates from Ubisoft games coming to Stadia. But we don't know exactly when this game is coming. But anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So a bit of PvP, Heartlands. Should be an interesting game. Again, those rumors, they're rumors. Not the game is coming to Stadia, but the modes, the game modes and all that kind of stuff, that is a rumor. So just, bear that in mind. That comes with that caveat. But anyway, it seems a fairly good source. And yeah, let's check out Ubisoft's quarterly earnings call. Usually there's some sort of news or hints. They usually set out a roadmap for some of their big games, big titles coming in the forthcoming year as part of their financials and their forecasting. So we might get some clues to some other games coming to Stadia. So that should be interesting. That's on the 17th. Let's close those up there. So make sure you look out for that. Just checking where we are. Game modes. Yeah, right. Okay, so those are the games and the DLCs and stuff like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, industry news. Yeah, industry news now. All Stadia related. So Games with Google published a very interesting report. Okay, so this is from Google themselves. And they published this report. Let's go to the top here. And they commissioned as well consultants, industry consultants, financial industry consultants to look into the future of gaming and looking at the potential growth across certain regions, notably South America and Asia Pac as well. So this is really aimed at the games industry to sort of say where is gaming going next? Where are the opportunities for gamers and stuff like that? And as I say, it comes from Games with Google. Of course, Jack Buser heads up gaming for Google as part of their cloud. So that covers the mobile gaming, obviously Stadia, although Stadia falls under subscription, but the developer tools, all that kind of stuff. But it's very interesting. There's some nice little nuggets of information in here. The past 18 months has been a period of immense global growth for gaming, but what does the future hold for the industry? To answer this question, we commissioned Newzoo to conduct extensive market research and consumer research in 16 countries across 4 global regions. The result is a set of 5 groundbreaking reports that you can preview and download here. So you can actually download the full reports. These are just the previews, yeah? But just look at this growth here, gaming. We know it's, a big market. This is everything, okay? This is mobile, console, PC, and we know mobile games are massive globally. But look at this. 2021, $175 billion. But look at that growth. You compare the growth from 2019 to 2021, and then you compare that growth from 2021 to 2024, it's quite a big jump. Now, that's clearly driven by new markets, by mobile gaming, and to a certain degree, although not, cloud gaming is going to be informing that. In 2021, global players per region per year. So it's made up here, Asia Pacific make up 54% of global players. And you've got to bear in mind, this includes mobile gaming, which is important really from a cloud gaming point of view as well. But mobile gaming, then you've got North America here. Look at Latin America, 10%. Again, bear in mind, this is mobile gaming as well as consoles and PCs. Obviously, when you break up what this percentage is made of, for instance, in America, most of it will be consoles and PCs. If you look Latin America, most of it will be mobile gaming probably. But you've got big markets here that have not always had the benefit of consoles, in the same way that you have in Europe or in the US, so like Middle East and Africa and things like that. And Asia Pacific a bit slow on apart from Japan, obviously, but a bit slow on the consoles because consoles weren't sold in China for years. And Korea, weren't really that bothered about consoles because most of their gaming was sort of PvP online gaming at the time, and consoles didn't really offer that when they were like well into it and they had the best sort of internet in the world like 10 years ago and all of that. But anyway, there we go. And then just some great data about people who played the same amount before, played more. So people are playing more games than ever before. Returning players. And we read anecdotally a lot of cloud gamers are sort of returning players, as it were, coming back. And then it says here, now this is the interesting thing here, which themes will continue beyond 2021? And then so you've got here the rise of streaming as a form of social engagement, the move to platform agnostics, as it were. So basically, and we've seen this, so it doesn't matter, what platform you're on, you can play with your mates, cross-platform basically. We've seen the industry talk about this before, recently, that their desire to make games sort of cross-play in the same way, Fortnite, Minecraft, and lots of games. And when they come to things like Stadia and stuff like that, and it's got cross-play on, it makes a massive, massive difference. In fact, if you don't have cross-play, you're probably a bit behind the curve, realistically, as a game. And the acceleration of cloud adoption is a big accelerated trend. So these are speeding up trends, accelerated trends. Now, this is a report commissioned by Google Gaming, and they've commissioned industry research consultants. So this is not Dave down the pub who plays a couple of games with his mates and has a YouTube channel. Yeah. This is paid industry consultants. And if you also look at the temporary setbacks, it says one of the setbacks here is a reduction in core AAA PC console spending in many markets. And game development delays and supply impacts. And then it breaks down the region. So if we have a quick look at Latin America here, I'm not going to go through every region, but you look at Latin America shifts to mobile. A region in transition, having moved from PC and console to mobile, players want and expect further democratization of access to games. Again, this is what cloud offers. Yeah, the democratization of gaming. Hence the move to mobile games in markets here. Look at, I mean, like their marketplace, 48% of the market, $3.5 billion is made up of mobile gaming. 27% console, 25% PC. Then there's also some information down here I just wanted to share. The North America primed, yeah, player demographics. There was some information here about cloud games. Here we are, look. Mobile offers opportunities to expand and innovate. And then this is the North American platform usage. And look, it's gone up here. You'll see here at the bottom, cloud. Share of platform users who use it more than any other, 6%. So 6% of cloud users use it more than any other platform. So it's a growing market. There's loads of really information. If you're interested in this sort of thing, as I am, there's loads of really great information here. You can download some of the detail behind. These are just the headlines sort of presented in here. So revenue can rise even as playing time levels off. Expected increase in playing times into and beyond 2021 versus pre-2020 baseline per platform. Cloud, 12% increase expected. So it's a growing market, as we know. This is an industry report about the future of gaming, commissioned by Google. Yeah, by highly paid industrial consultants, rather than some poorly paid journalist on some, bad blog or anything like that, or some wannabe YouTuber guy, that could be me. This is where I prefer to get my information, If you explore the growth of gaming potential across consoles, PC, mobile, and gaming, as I said, throughout this whole report in detail, cloud gaming gets mentioned throughout the document. And the potentials of markets like Latin America that we've talked about, where we've already seen recent Stadia trademark registrations, potentially in Brazil and Mexico. All of this, if you're looking at this report, you probably I want to be in those markets. Cloud gaming is growing. That's what all the data is saying. The research is saying. It's accelerated market. Trust me. And it's Google who commissioned this report. They're hardly going to go, yeah, okay, forget it. Trust me, Stadia's not going anywhere. Yeah? Not going anywhere. But, ladies and gentlemen, the cloud gaming and Stadia news, industry news, doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't stop there. If you're interested in the report, let me know. I can share the link to it. It's on Google for Games. Check it out. Really detailed reports that you can download and all of that. But it does not end there. So, last week, there were 3, count them, 3 developer posts on the Stadia developer blog. Yeah? So they don't publish that much often on these. But last week, here, they published 3 articles. Normally they're months between articles, but like the proverbial UK buses, you wait around for ages, then 3 come along at once. Yeah? Now, these articles are specifically aimed at developers and publishers. Yeah? They're aimed specifically at the publisher industry and the developer industry, informing them of what Stadia has to offer from a technical and tools sort of basis, from a development kind of perspective, and also for publishers and developers from a revenue perspective. And I find it really interesting that these 3 articles came out last week. We just click on learn about our new Stadia partner incentives. So these partner incentives were obviously talked about at the Google for Games developer conference thing that they did in July 2021, and they revealed their new Stadia Pro incentive program, their improved transactional rev share. So they decided to publish this on February the 3rd, okay, last week, talking about, so they say here, they mentioned supporting, so this is, remember, this is not old news, this is not like old news, this was published last week. Yeah, this is about Stadia, aimed at publishers and developers, how they can make money and what the revenue kind of scheme is, yeah? Supporting our developer and publishing, this is a platform that's meant to be closing down apparently, yeah? Supporting our, published on the 3rd of February last week. Supporting our developer and publishing partners is a core goal of Stadia, and our keynote at 2021 Google for Games Developer Summit in July outlined we'd be increasing the return on their investments. 2 of these incentive programs we announced at the summit are now available. So there was a lag, I think, between when they announced it and when some of the schemes would be available. I think there was like from October or something like that. But they're now available to help our current and future partners generate more revenue on our platform. So absolutely aimed at publishers and developers. So the Stadia Pro incentive, we're giving 70% of monthly program revenue back to participating partners based on engagement. So you talked about that. If somebody logs into a Stadia Pro game for that day, that counts as an engagement day. And then you get a share of the 70% of the pot, yeah, of their revenue. You get a share of that depending on how much people have engaged or popped into your game every day. And then the other one was transactional revenue share. So basically, you know, an 85% transactional revenue share on new games that launched up to 3 million. So you're getting 85. So basically, Google is only taking, Stadia is only taking 15% for the first $3 million, is only taking 15%. But what is interesting here, right, because we've seen in the news recently, in Stadia News World, where people have quoted unnamed sources. Can't think where I read that somewhere, but some unnamed source. Well, we've got some named sources here. Yeah, some actual named sources. One from Acapara Games. We've launched 2 of our titles into the Stadia program recently, Grime and The Dark Side Detective. Despite being polar opposites in terms of content and genre, both performed well, both in terms of finances and player reception. Stadia Pro seems to benefit a wide variety of titles. Stadia Pro has consistently exceeded our expectations on both payout and player engagement. We have an active, passionate community of players for our titles. And then Outright Games, they said from the outset, Stadia Pro has felt like a natural fit for Outright Games and kids' video games in general. We've seen a fantastic amount of engagement with our games on Stadia already, with revenue that went above our expectations. As we expand our portfolio, we will continue to bring more opportunities to play these great kids' games in the cloud. 2 publishers and developers there saying, loving it. It's working for us. Yeah? Again, putting the lie to this idea that, you know, it's not working, all that kind of stuff, right? But as I said, this is one of 3 articles published to the Stadia developer blog. And it's indicative of, I think, of a concerted effort. So the other one was how early access helps with feature development. So they talk about Stadia. This was on the 9th of February. So last week, you know, 5 days ago. Talk about Stadia experiments. So this is where they can test out things before they sort of roll them out if you sort of opt in on your mobile phone for the Stadia experiments, they can try things out. When building a product like Stadia, there is a delicate balance between wanting to deliver new features for our community as fast and as early as possible, and ensuring that everything we ship meets our high quality standards. Furthermore, gathering and analyzing data is a critical part of our development process. And that's why they have these experiments. And it goes on here. Two product managers here. Making new features available to users sooner is a great opportunity to delight super fans. I guess that's you and me, man. We must be super fans, yeah? While setting expectations appropriately if the features are still being built or refined. So it's a great way of testing things without sort of saying, you know, by basically saying this thing is in beta. You know, this element is only in the Stadia experiment stage. So don't expect to be fully featured, you know. So that was one of the articles. And then another, as I say, article here. And this was tweeted out by Stadia. And I love this because they've taken the big picture from when Stadia was officially announced back in March 2019 with Phil Harrison there and his funky shoes. And then they've added in here. So rather than just play anywhere, they've put in here and develop. Crucially, and develop anywhere. Stadia is just not about, you know, developing, playing it anywhere you can remotely using the cloud. You can actually develop the game, and they're emphasizing developers and publishers can use the test client to test their games on loads of different environments remotely and things like that. And it goes into lots of kind of details. But the idea is, it says that there are situations where it's desirable to iterate on a player client where end user games ultimately will be playing. So what, you know, will they be playing on the TV, playing on a mobile phone, playing on the PC in the Chrome browser? So they said here, we wanted to reach a point where developers can rapidly iterate on players' clients while at the same time providing all of the test client debugging tools. Developers should be able to use their familiar tools, including Microsoft Visual Studio, to start a game on any player client. And then they go into all this sort of technical detail here. Very much aimed, yeah, at developers. So this is tools. So we saw the revenue, the business system, yeah, for developers and publishers. And here are the tools that are available for developers to sort of encourage people to develop using the Stadia technology. Yeah, develop your games anywhere, play and develop anywhere. I just find it really interesting that these three articles, which are aimed at the industry side of things, came out in the space of a week. And it was last week or so. Yeah. And there's some new information in here. There's some old information and new information. And yet some publications don't consider this information here. As I said, some of which is old and some of which is new and some which contains specific quotes from a publisher that is actually named. So not an insider, an unnamed source. Yeah. A legit source. Sound familiar? Many publications don't consider it worthy writing about any of this. And believe me, the question has been asked of, you know, one particular tech blog who replied, oh, it's old news. And yet that same tech blog wrote something last week about something that was a respin of old news, updated with a quote from an unnamed source. Now, what was that? What was it? Can't think now. Can't think what it was. Anyway, the point is, don't know why they won't write about this. The key thing is here, I like to think, and I am assuming here, that these developer blog posts coming all of a sudden, like I said, like the proverbial English bus, is a reaction from Stadia. I don't know, but I think the timing is interesting. As they've all been either tweeted by Stadia itself, So Stadia tweeted out that one. So they tweeted out this one here, and develop anywhere. So this came from the Stadia account, tweeted it out. So very strategic. And then the other one, I think was the more technical one, was tweeted out by a Stadia engineer, Matt Joseph here. Check out this blog post about enabling early access features on Google Stadia. Has some insight on how our product managers approach building iterative products. Yeah. And they all came out, as I said, they all came out over the last sort of 7 to 10 days. Coincidence? Don't know. So as I say, it's just interesting that, we've got 100 games coming out. We've got them really pushing the revenue strategy that they have with publishing developers, pushing the developer tools they've got. Anyway, it's all worth a read. Go to the Stadia developer blog if you're interested in that sort of thing. If you're a bit more technical than I am, you might understand some of the engineering stuff and the technical stuff. But it's just to remind you of what Stadia has to offer developers and publishers. They're clearly targeting developers and publishers. And some publishers seem to be embracing the cloud, right? And the needs of Stadia and Luna, right? And I know what you're thinking. Oh, yes, Clive, but you're probably talking about small indies or small publishers. They're sort of indie publishers and all that. What about the big publishers of AAA games? Are they talking about Stadia? And I'm not talking about Ubisoft. I don't know. How about someone like Sega? Is Sega considered a big enough publisher for you? Is Sega considered a big enough gaming brand for you? If I shared with you some information about Sega and their interest in cloud and Stadia, would that be of interest? I think it might, ladies and gentlemen. I think it might. So spotted out in the wild is a job for a compliance manager. Sega. This is on the Sega job site. Yeah, if you're interested, if you are a qualified compliance manager living in Irvine, California, must reside in California. You can work from home, don't worry. Sega. Now, the interesting thing here is, so in the beginning, this is their, we're Sega. We're brilliant. From Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe to the Persona series. Everybody knows Sega. Street Fighter. That's Capcom. Anyway, everybody knows Sega, right? Interesting thing here is, in their who we are and what the future holds for Sega as part of this compliance specialist job description, they go here, new streaming technologies and shifts in the retail landscape are well poised for what will be the most disruptive and innovative time in our industry. Our IP strategy positions us well for this, and we are enthusiastic about the future. But that's not it. So, your responsibilities, if you get this job, right, as a compliance specialist, will be performing first-party compliance passes on Sega QA projects. Okay? So this is making sure that the game, the Sega game, passes the quality assurance requirements for platforms, first-party compliance platforms, so basically PlayStation, so Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft platforms, Xbox, whatever. Additional focus on emerging streaming platforms, Google Stadia, and Amazon Luna. Your responsibilities will include performing compliance passes on Sega QA projects with additional focus on emerging streaming platforms, Google Stadia and Amazon Luna. Why would you hire someone with a job description that specifically mentions additional focus, not deprioritizing focus, not refocusing, additional focus on streaming platforms, Google Stadia, unless you were considering bringing more games to Stadia? Just following the breadcrumbs, putting the lines together. Yeah. How can I'd like, like somebody to go to me, yeah, maybe they just put that. That's probably the only comeback you could. Yeah, they just put that. You wouldn't put it. You wouldn't put that. It specifically says additional focus on emerging streaming platforms, Google Stadia and Amazon Luna. And then at the top here, they see, because they've mentioned they're working on some big sort of project involving the cloud and streaming, potentially with Xbox, actually. We don't know what it is. And, Sega have just closed their arcade, the last, legendary arcade. They've sold off the arcade games and the arcades in Japan. So they're obviously, look, they want to embrace, I think, the future of gaming with their massive IP strategy position they have. They've got massive IP. Why wouldn't you want to exploit that IP on a new disruptive and innovative sector of the business, of the market, like Stadia and Luna? That's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Just think it's interesting. Yeah? Again, putting the lie to this nonsense that's been around. But nobody's picking up on this, are they? Nobody's writing articles about this. No one's putting the pieces together because that requires work and effort, doesn't it? Yeah? When Stadia come out and say, 100 plus games this year, people go, yeah, they're going to say that, aren't they? Yeah, they're going to say that, aren't they? Okay, well then let's look around what backs it up. Where are the clues that backs it up? This is not a Google Stadia job. This is a Sega job. Specifically mention focus on Stadia. Yeah, I've just given you 2 quotes from 2 publishers who are loving the new revenue model, where it exceeded their expectations. Maybe their expectations were really low, Clive. Yeah, maybe they were. Anyway, what games, let me know, what games would you like to see from Sega? Put it in the chat. Let me know what games you think would be good games to get from Sega. Anyway, I just thought I would share that. If you are, what's your responsibilities here? Skills. Yeah, you need previous compliance on first-party QA experience. You basically need QA experience in gaming, yeah? It's a young man's game. But yeah. There we go. And in other industry news, ladies and gentlemen, in other industry news, 9 to 5, and I was going to slag 9 to 5 off today, but then I read an article, and I actually, a different article than the one I'm going to show you, and actually fairness to them, they did all right. But I just thought I'd share you this, that they shared. Android TV is the fastest growing TV platform, but share in North America is weak. Well, we know what you Americans are like. You're all sheeple, aren't you? Yeah. You've all got iPhones because all your mates have got it. Yeah. And that kind of stuff. We're a bit more discerning here in Europe and the rest of the world. We love our Android and stuff. Yeah. I'm joking. Anyway, Android TV is the fastest growing TV platform. And here's Android TV growth here. Growth in viewing time for top big screens. Android TV, 42%. Yeah, and then it breaks it down by market here. LG, 36%. Samsung, right? So look at these 3 platforms. The 3 biggest platforms in terms of growth. Yeah? Samsung, think you'll find the Stadia apps coming to that very soon. LG, I think you'll find Stadia app is probably on its about third or fourth iteration on LG. I had to update it recently. Android TV, of course, Google and Android TV, we know Stadia app is available on that. So I just thought it was interesting that, you know, this is about suddenly play on the devices you already own. You know, people think, oh, what, you mean like a laptop? Or you mean like my mobile phone? No. Play your AAA games on your TV. Yeah. More and more people, you know, using their smart TVs to play games. And here we go. So you add in Samsung TV, the LG TV, with all the Google and Android TV operating systems. Suddenly playing on the devices you already own really starts to take effect. This is all stuff in the future that we're going to see. Yeah. So an interesting article from 9 to 5. When you put it in, it just puts things in context. Yeah. So what I try to do in the show is just put things in context, provide you some background information, some, you know, interesting stuff, put it in context, create a picture, perhaps a picture that's more reflective of the reality than just a quickly snatched headline here and there. Yeah, that's what we try to do on the show. In-depth stuff. Anyway, quickly, let's go through and in other news section, the way I've split it up today, gaming news, industry news, and now we're doing the quick in other news. So quickly, in other news, before we get to the chat, in other news, broken arms to the developer of 100 Days, the wine drinking game, have announced a sort of roadmap of Stadia updates in terms of patches and DLCs. So there is by the end of April, so they don't do it. I think they hire a port house to do all their Stadia work because they're tiny indie. So I think they hire a port house that does it all for them. So there's always a bit of a delay and a lag. But now they've updated us. So 100 Days is getting a patch 1.3.0 by the end of April. The Napa Stadia porting will also happen as well by the end of April. And they're starting pre-production of a new game. Could be beer, could be cheese. Beer making, cheese making. Who knows? You decide. What do you think? What do you think the developers of the wine-making game are going to make next? And could it come to Stadia? We've no idea. And also in other news, Outright Games, we mentioned them a few times tonight. Little clue here, little teaser. Exciting news coming soon. So this is somebody who was responding to Stadia. I'm loving it. Stadia. My 4-year-old grew some white hair from this Stadia is dead crap. Keep them coming. Keep the games coming. And then Outright Games responded, oh, poor thing. Absolutely no need to worry. Exciting news is coming. So are there new Outright Games coming to Stadia very soon? It seems to be the case. Outright Games are teasing a game announcement coming soon. So look out for that. There's a brand new season that's free to all coming to Zombie Army 4. Must get back to that game. Zombie Army 4 Dead War Season 1 free to all platforms on the 17th of February. And somebody did ask whether it was coming to Stadia, and they did say yes. I can't quite find where it is. But anyway, if you're a fan of Zombie Army Dead War 4, Dead War Season 1 free to all platforms is coming very, very soon. And a small indie potentially wants to bring their game to Stadia. So this game is called Derelict. The Derelicts. I think that's what it's called. So there's a bit of Valheim element to it. A sort of a building survival sandpit game. As you can see. I'll go big so you can see it a bit better. It's in early development, won't be out for at least another year, or at least early. Yeah, so sort of set in a post sort of apocalyptic world where you have to sort of start again. Derelicts. Anyway, somebody said to him, you can bring it to Stadia, and he said, so it's just, I think it's one guy or a tiny team anyway, a tiny team behind it. They said, you're going to bring it to Stadia. Oops, wrong button. You're going to bring it to Stadia, and he said, here we are. Loads of people here in the tweet actually were saying, bring it to Stadia. And he does say it is his intention. And does Stadia have early access? And then loads of people sort of shared, yeah. This game looks great, says Alexander Smith here. Google Stadia needs to talk to you about their game. Anyway, Derelicts, I can't find the response, but he said, yes, I definitely want to bring it to Stadia. Does it have early access? And people kindly shared, the community kindly shared the information about how to, the Stadia channels and using early access and stuff like that. But anyway, interesting game. Let's see whether it ends up arriving on Stadia or not. And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, there's a massive sale. I only spotted this because somebody shared this tweet about FIFA 22 here being the lowest it's ever been. Pro discount, $17.99. FIFA 22. We are halfway through the season. But even so, good price. But apparently, so at £18, according to this, Stadia Sales Twitter handle. £18. But there's loads of games, apparently. Stadia having a massive sale right now. Up to 80% off. Apparently. I would show you some of the offers, but as I say, it keeps saying you own the game. You own the games. I can't see the price. I think somebody did publish it in actually in euros, some of the deals. Did they? Yeah, but I don't have it here. But there you go. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Stadia news, games, industry news, all of that. Let's go to the chat, see what you guys have been saying, and all of that in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I used to play that on the Wii. What did you used to play on the Wii there? I can't see. Yeah, Clive versus... Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, maybe I'll try to... Yeah, maybe I should do that. Watch this space. Yes. Buy chat. So talking of the sales, thank you, Buy Chat 78. Jedi Fallen for $9. If you've not had, definitely get it. If you weren't lucky enough to get it in Stadia Pro, I bought it before, like when it was 25 quid. Then it went Stadia Pro on 4th of May, of course. Definitely recommend Jedi Fallen. Geek the Sneak, good to see you, sir. Pedder, how are you? You old romantic, you. Saw you posting pictures with your charming partner. Your lovely partner. Very nice for Valentine. Happy Valentine's for those that celebrate it. Got a lovely Valentine's hamper. Not bragging. Got a beautiful Valentine's hamper. That's all I'm saying. Chocolates and sweets. I love it. Love it. Mr. Bayram, how are you? I'll be grabbing... Mr. Bayram is going to be grabbing My Hero. Ray is driving and listening. Good to hear it, sir. Good to hear. Crow, how are you? Pedder, I think you were talking about the other game, weren't you? I think it's March. If we were talking about the same game. Yeah. Lamote, Wired Productions. Good job. I can't see, and Pedder on the game there. Watch the whole thing at 1.5 speed. It's the best way to watch it, Jerome. Ah. Yoshida. Lovely to see you. As ever, hello, legend. Indeed. Scooterama, how are you? Yo, yo, yo. On Slusher. Exactly. Exactly. Why is Sega employing people to work specifically, you know, on having a focus on Google Stadia? I don't know. After the BI article, all the news platforms and so-called journalists came out of the wood. Of course they did, like cockroaches. You see, but interesting enough, right? In fairness, I think some people sort of got over the hyperbole a bit. So I was about to sort of, you know, have a little whine about 9 to 5. Right. Then I just thought I better check they didn't do an article which contradicts what I said. And they had done an article which contradicted everything. So their article here, and I don't know whether the headline changed or not, but their headline wasn't too bad, really. I mean, you could moan about it if you want to be a pedant, but, you know, that's all right, I think. Stadia promises a great future and more games in a response to a recent report. That's an okay headline. Yeah, it was in response to the, you know, it's them sort of taking the Stadia PR statement at its word, which is fair enough. Why not? You know, put it in inverted commas. The insider quote, you know, was inverted commas. That's what you should do. This is a quote from Google. Put it in. That's fine. Great future. They have an opinion on it. Of course they do. And that's fine. You know, their position is not an unreasonable position to have. But it's good to see that they did come out with, following a recent report of Google's shift in focus from the consumer side of Stadia, Google has promised gamers that a great future is still ahead for the streaming service. And then they've got their take here. I may not 100% agree with their take, but their take is not unreasonable. They're just saying, I'd personally advise cautious optimism. Cautious optimism when it comes to Stadia, I don't think is an unreasonable position to have. I'm slightly more optimistic than that. As always, our APK Insight team will continue to keep an eye out for spoilers of what features may be coming next to Stadia. So, you know, credit to 9 to 5 on at least reporting in a positive way, or at least reporting that Stadia did actually say, no, we ain't going anywhere, and we've got a future. We've got a great future, and 100 games are coming. I wasn't going to talk about this today, but yeah. So, okay, 9 to 5, good work. Not unreasonable position to take. Golden Axe from Sega. A Samsung guy through and through. Yeah. Okay. I'm LG. I'm a convert now to my LG. Unbelievable how good the game looks. Just Dance. Sonic Wonders. Hey, Dylan, how are you? What's up? Balls for Life. Lovely to see you in the chat. Yeah, I think there's lots of great potential. You know, it's encouraging to see, as I say, this is not a statement by, you know, this is not direct statement by Sega. This is Sega going about their business, requiring people to have a focus on Stadia and Amazon Luna because they see a future in cloud gaming. So that's encouraging. Not every publisher feels the future is here yet. We know Take-Two's view on it. They're a wait and see kind of people. Ubisoft fully embrace it. You know, EA somewhere in between probably those positions, the sort of Take-Two position and Ubisoft's position. And they'll come to the table when they're well and ready, and it's in their kind of interest, you know, ultimately. But anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 new games arriving tomorrow. Games arriving in March. New games announced for the summer. Sega employing people with a additional focus on Amazon Luna. Stadia publishing developer reports aimed specifically at developers and publishers about the platform from a revenue point of view, a business point of view, and a technical developer point of view. So focusing on that, focusing on the industry, getting them on board. Another week in the world of Stadia. All good, all moving forward, growing, just doing what they do. Yeah. Which isn't so bad. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That's the show. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you felt informed, educated, and entertained, and all of that. Big shout out for all the people who watch this live. Even if you arrived late. Really appreciate it. Chat, you've been wonderful as ever. It's, it is the Stadia Monday Night Chat, as I said. It's not the same without you. So thank you. I'd just be a madman raging into a microphone if it wasn't for you guys. You draw that line that prevents me from being a complete insane man. But there we go. Thank you, one and all. Remember to hit the likes. And if you are new here, I would appreciate a subscription. And why don't we do this all again? Yeah. Why don't we do it all again? Same time. Same place, ladies and gentlemen, next week. Have a lovely gaming week. Let me know if you buy any of the games that are launching tomorrow, any of that, and I'll see you around. Same time, as I said, same time, same place, next week. Goodbye.